All right, Lindsay, no sleeping in here tonight. Welcome to the Infinity College basketball tip-off. We bring you to Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. We'll have about 23,000 fans in here to watch their 14th-ranked Wildcats take on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Super Tuesday set to begin. The fireworks going off. We welcome you, everybody. Brad Nessler with Sean Farnham. Partner, as you take a look at Kentucky this year, 3 losses already. We had to go all the way to the end of the season before they lost last year. There's been some inconsistencies. One constant for them, though, has been the play of their point guard.
Yeah, Tyler Ulis, I thought at the start of this year, was the best true point guard in college basketball, and he has played like it over the course of the season. In fact, let's go inside the Farnham file this week, and we'll focus on Tyler Ulis. And Coach Calipari said this before the season began. He said he's the best floor general that he maybe ever coached, and there's a couple of traits. One is being fearless. He accepts responsibility at defensive end of the floor. He forces other teams to get outside their comfort zone. At the offensive end, though, for Kentucky, he makes those around him that much better. He's innately unselfish, and as all great leaders do, as a quarterback of the team, you step up when your team play breaks down and you make a play, and that's what Tyler Ulis can do.
Smallest guy on the floor for Kentucky, their most consistent player right now. This has been the Infinity Tip-Off. Let's take a look now at how our coaches have fun with fundraising in the Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. Tip-off coming up. And we welcome you back to Super Tuesday, presented by Hotels.com. Just about set for the Bulldogs and the Wildcats of Kentucky. The SEC on ESPN from Rupp Arena. Rupp Arena, where Kentucky has won 28 straight. Bulldogs haven't beaten them in 7 years in this building. They'll try to pull an upset tonight, and we're underway.
And the key for Kentucky early in this game against the zone that Mississippi State is going to play. Don't just settle for the three-point shot. Look to try to work the weak side, find the gap in between the middle of the paint, and attack.
Mississippi State zone comes up with a turnover immediately. And going the other way through traffic, and a great move by Chicken Sword. So that turns into 1 turnover and 2 points.
Turning and making offense off of your defense is going to be so key for Mississippi State. They are not a very good shooting team. At times they get extremely stagnant at the offensive end.
Here's Ulis. He'll try 3. Too strong. Mississippi State with a rebound, and Malik Newman ahead. Got it to Ware. In close, and a chance for a 3-point play. Boy, what a start for Mississippi State.
And Ben Howland has to be pleased with the focus of his group in this unit. Again, defensive rebound going to be key all evening long for Mississippi State. And then Gavin Ware just out hustling Alex Poythress down the middle of the lane, and a good pass up over the top by the freshman Malik Newman.
Ware has been their best player, their leading scorer, rebounder, leads the SEC in field goal percentage, and has a 3-point play to give Mississippi State a 5-0 lead.
The idea of the zone for Mississippi State is to pack it in, try not to allow the Wildcats lanes to the hoop.
Here's Murray, deep 3. One's too strong as well, but kept alive by Briscoe. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
So
Murray throws his shoulder. Ball goes back to Mississippi State. Ben Howland in his first year in Starkville. After a tremendous run, first Northern Arizona, then Pittsburgh, then UCLA, where he had Final Four teams and a runner-up team as well.
Not a great start for Kentucky. And essentially the first 3 possessions, 2 turnovers.
Yep.
And then a run out from the defensive rebound.
And here's Briscoe on the steal, and Kentucky on the board. And another turnover. Back-to-back miscues now by Mississippi State.
I think Isaiah Briscoe is starting to assert himself more and more at the defensive end of the floor. He is their best perimeter defensive player from the wing position, and you see him just steal the ball immediately from Craig Sword and take it right down the other end.
There's the numbers on Briscoe in his freshman season out of Newark, New Jersey. Here he is at the offensive end. They work it to Murray for 3. Got it. He's had a 3 in every game this year. That's his 38th of the season, and it ties things at 5.
You know, 2 players out on the floor you've got to be there on the catch with.
Whoa. Ware blocked, second effort, and it's going to be Mississippi State ball.
Well, Jamal Murray and Tyler Ulis are the two Wildcats. You got to be on the catch, but defensively, a nice job by Alex Poythress recovering as the throw came up over the top to Gavin Ware, there to meet him.
Really shot block by Alex Poythress. So the shot clock does not reset. It's 21 to shoot. We're just a couple of minutes into the game. Tied at 5. There's a good move by Malik Newman.
And boy, would they like to see him explode for a big game tonight. Talented freshman coming out of high school. Everybody thought one and done. He's underachieved a little bit so far.
Poythress in the paint. Trying to get the rebound was Lee, and he got in too deep. Still going to be Kentucky ball. John Calipari, the Hall of Famer, in his 7th year here. 1-11-4 at Rupp Arena. Not bad, huh?
Talking about great environments in college basketball. So much is made out of what Bill Self has been able to do, and deservedly so at Kansas. But what Coach Calipari has done here at Rupp Arena, equally noteworthy.
He never lost to Mississippi State. 8-0. Nice ball movement around the perimeter to Murray, who got the open 3 and knocked down another one.
You cannot give him space. They talked about that at shoot around today. The two players, Ulis and Murray. Murray is the one that can catch fire above all else. We've seen it even in games like the Ohio State game that they lost. In the second half, his ability to stretch the defense and just create offense.
First lead for the Wildcats, and now Reddy hits the deck, and that's not going to be good news for him, because at the shoot around today, I.J. Reddy, the point guard from Mississippi State, tweaked his back a little bit, and now he just hit the deck on that turnover.
The ball rotation, though, for Kentucky, the unselfishness, they got it to the baseline, quickly reversed it to get the high percentage clean look from the outside.
Well, Kentucky into the front court playing with a lead for the first time. Willis would have had an open shot, but the pass was off the mark. They wanted to feed Murray right now. He's got the hot hand. Underneath instead. Nice dish inside to Marcus Lee.
So again, you get in the middle of the defense, it forces the back line to have to shift and rotate ever so slightly. And a nice job that time by Marcus Lee working the baseline.
So Kentucky was down 5-0. Now they trail by 3.
Isaiah Briscoe does a nice job here on the catch, immediately attacking the two guards. A little pass fake forces the defense to shift ever so slightly, and then Marcus Lee positioned himself brilliantly on the baseline.
Foul on the other end was on Ware, his first. The
more the Kentucky hit shots, the more that forces the back line of that defense to space out.
Great. A little heat check there. He'll get another opportunity, though. So the shot clock resets. He and Ulis out on top as we hit the 16-minute mark.
This Mississippi State team gave up 16 made three-point shots against Arkansas.
Battle for the rebound. Still loose. Ware has got it. Going to be a jump ball and a possession arrow in Kentucky's favor this time. So we just passed that 16-minute mark. Timeout, 15:51 first half. Kentucky by 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels. And in part by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance.
A 10-2 run puts Kentucky in front by 3. We check in third member of our team, Shannon Spake. Shannon.
Hey there, Brad. You know, last night John Calipari had his entire team over for dinner, and at one point he pulled out a Powerball ticket. He held it up and he said to his guys, do you know how many people are going out right now to buy one of these, hoping to win $1.5 million and change their lives? And the odds are they're not going to win. He then told his guys, every single one of you already have a ticket. That ticket is your skill. It's your potential. He said, and you have better odds of winning with those than you do at Powerball. But he said, if you don't try, if you don't fight, if you don't live up to your potential, it's just a ticket in your back pocket. You're never cashing it in.
I love that story. And Spake, now you get your rear end over here and give me my Powerball thing back, would you please?
I'll bring it to you on Thursday, Brad. How about that?
Right, after you cash in. Okay.
$1.3 billion. What would you buy? What's the first thing you'd buy?
The Rams. Keep in St. Louis. Lob underneath to Marcus Lee, a little bit off the mark. Kentucky turns it over for the third time.
Mississippi State hasn't missed a shot yet. The problem is they have 4 turnovers. Those 4 turnovers has led to already 7 points for Kentucky.
Open man for 3, drains it. Travis Daniels.
And a good offense that time. Malik Newman, I like the way he's not forcing anything right now. It's an emotional game for him a little bit. He was recruited heavily by Kentucky, chose Mississippi State.
A lot of Kentucky fans on social media about that earlier today, you were telling me.
Big Blue Nation is always on social media.
Murray gave up a 3, pulled up for a 2-pointer, and he's got 8 points already.
What a great start for Jamal Murray. And there's not one aspect of his game I really don't like. I love everything that he can bring to the floor. At times, yes, he takes shots that are ill-advised, but overall, he has been their most consistent offensive weapon.
Here is Newman for 3, a little bit short. And Lee hands off to Briscoe. He'll take the pull-up jumper and got it.
Yeah, the defense just gave up real estate. You can't just keep backing up and giving up real estate. You want to make sure you stop the ball, hand up, contest, even on a mid-range jump shot. Briscoe not a great shooter, but you still want to get out there and make him feel uncomfortable. There's just poor communication between Reddy and Newman on that defensive possession.
Feed inside Ware. Tried a reverse layup, just sort of lost the handle. Murray feeling it right now. Got another one. Kentucky stretches it to 7. And Ben Howland has seen enough. Fans finally fired up because of Jamal Murray. Off to a red-hot start for the Cats. .6'4" freshman from Kitchener, Ontario, Jamal Murray. Great start, Sean.
He has been red hot, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. He also has the attempt inside it. 11 points for him early in this contest, and they need him to be able to knock down those shots because against the zone again, what it does is it forces the defense to have to shift and expand out the zone. Once you expand the zone, that's when the lanes are there to attack the middle and start getting point production down low in the paint.
With a 3-quarter court pressure from Marcus Lee.
Opportunity for Malik Newman to drive.
Well, Briscoe.
I think Malik Newman was a little too passive there.
Took a lot of time to do nothing except throw a bad pass.
You have Marcus Lee on you, and you're Malik Newman, and he's guarding you 7 feet above the 3-point line. Look to attack.
And now you got 10 to shoot for Mississippi State. Another pass that was almost picked up by Briscoe. And straight inside, Newman misses the shot. Lee will clear it off. Ulis inside. Knocked away, and let's see. It'll be Kentucky ball. Well, it's Saturday at noon. North Carolina State, North Carolina get together. And then at 2 o'clock, number 1 Kansas and TCU at Allen Fieldhouse. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
How about the week Bryce Johnson had last week, shooting 78% from the field, averaging over 27 points per game.
What do you have, 39 and 23 that one day?
39 and 23 at Florida State.
Rebound off to Fred Thomas. On a miss by Labissiere. Highly touted freshman in the lineup for the first time. So far, I.J. Reddy has played the point, and his back issues have not been a problem. It's easy for me to say. I don't know how he feels, but
turnovers have been a problem, though. You're trailing by 7. That's your 5th turnover. You're getting empty possessions. You can't come into Rupp Arena and turn the ball over and have empty possessions and allow them to score. A lot of these turnovers, too, have been live ball turnovers that led to runouts.
Right. And around the zone, they work.
Good patience by Kentucky against the zone.
Now some penetration by Ulis, and Tyler's just going to take it himself. Nice pull-up jumper in the paint.
Vision and awareness by Tyler Ulis. He was reading the back line of the defense to try to see if they would step to him, and then he was going to lob. If they did, they didn't. They stayed home. That allowed him a nice little chip shot.
Lead swells to 9 for Kentucky. And now we got an offensive foul, another turnover. This one, Quindary Witherspoon.
And the patience of Kentucky against the zone. Ball reversal, forcing the defense, throwing it over the top of the skip pass. Little counter action right back, and then watch the read on the back line of the defense. Force them to sit down, make the decision. If they don't step, you elevate and finish. And that's exactly what Tyler Ulis did.
Murray, nice feed inside. And a foul underneath. Zapardo picks up his first.
Scalavissiere, coming out of high school, one of the most highly touted freshmen in all of college basketball. And as the season has progressed, I think the anticipation is, when will that promise and that potential start to show?
Well, he only played 4 minutes against Alabama the other day, so it's not showing yet.
No, he has struggled, and he has not been comfortable. But the athleticism and the traits, the physical attributes are there.
Ulis missed a 3.
I think a lot of it comes down to the mental ability to take in all of it and digest fully what it takes to be an elite level college basketball player.
Nice rebound for him there. Well, you know, when you put up the numbers that he put up in high school and everything looked real easy and everybody says he's a one-and-doner, he's got to get ready for college basketball before he worries about the pros. When we come back, take a look at the storylines in the Southeastern Conference here at Rupp Arena with the Cats in front.
We welcome you back to Super Tuesday. Kentucky up 9 early. And in case you didn't know, I mean, some of you might just be tuning in. Of course, Alabama won the national championship last night over Clemson. So let's welcome you to SEC basketball and get you caught up on all the storylines. If you don't know him, you really haven't watched SportsCenter at all or logged on to ESPN.com. His name is Ben Simmons. He's a sensational talent that you see across the bottom of your screen, a dynamic playmaker for the LSU Tigers. We'll see him tomorrow night against Ole Miss. Meanwhile, how about South Carolina? Usually we talk about the women's team being undefeated. They still are, but so is Frank Martin's team. 15-0 and one of only 2 teams in Division I basketball to be undefeated. 3 teams are ranked right now in the top 25. Texas A&M, a very good, well-balanced team. The SEC, by the way, played the top non-conference strength of schedule of any of the conferences in college basketball.
If you haven't seen Texas A&M, you'll see them next Super Tuesday nights. Sean and Shannon and I will be there for that one. And as Sean said, tomorrow night on ESPN2, Ole Miss against Ben Simmons and LSU. We'll be in Baton Rouge tomorrow night. Here's Ulis, wide open 3, got it.
A beautiful move by Isaiah Briscoe. You can talk about the shot, but really to me it was about the drive and the kick. He opened up that space for Tyler Ulis. That's as open as a shot that you can ever find in a game.
And it opens up the lead to 12. Remember, the Bulldogs led 5-0 to open the game. It's been all Kentucky since. So the Dogs started and the Cats took over. And the Cats are taking over right now. Ulis on the run out with Briscoe. Inside, Poythress, 1 extra pass. And Lavissiere will go to the free throw line.
Hey, Brad, Ben Howland said in that last huddle, he told his guys, just get yourself under control. He specifically was talking to his senior guard, Craig Sword. He said, you cannot get into the paint and just throw yourself around and hope to get fouled. It's not going to happen here. You have to play under control.
And Sword's the guy that picked up the foul.
And that control shows up in the turnover department. 6 turnovers in the early stage of this game for Mississippi State, and it's too many too early. They're shooting the ball pretty well, 50% shooting overall from the floor, but they're not giving themselves opportunities.
So the freshman Lavissiere at the free throw line, 1 of 2. Mississippi State needs some offense right now. They've gone over 7 minutes without a field goal. No field goals and 7 turnovers, as Sean said, so not a good combination. We approach the midway point of the first half. Almost a travel. And there's turnover number 8. Kentucky gives it right back. Numbers for the Bulldogs, and the pull-up jumper by J. Reddy is good.
Easy offense that time for Mississippi State off the turnover. They're struggling against the half-court pressure of Kentucky, especially out on the perimeter. Good job defensively by Briscoe, Murray, and Ulis. And you don't have to go against that pressure. You find some easier looks. Oh, good crossover.
Not a very good shot, though. And now Willis underneath missed twice.
I'm a half-full guy. I like the move.
That was a good move.
You want the finish. It's just another empty possession. And Gavin Ware gets whistled for the foul underneath. And if you're Ben Howland, this is frustrating. What did he tell us about his team? What do you want them to do tonight? Come in here and have fun.
Yeah.
Play loose, play fun. They're playing tight. And when you play tight, you turn the ball over.
Ben looks a little tighter than he did at the shoot-around 2 right now, as a matter of fact. This place will do it to you, and so will Kentucky most of the time. That 3 off the mark from Michael Mulder.
Good job by Murray. Forcing Reddy to reject the screen.
Way out at midcourt, Reddy getting worked over by Murray defensively, and 10 on the shot clock.
And they haven't even thrown a pass in the half-court set.
Now they have to hustle. Sword, nice drive. Good move around Mulder.
That's experience right there, feeling the defensive pressure and then rolling off of it.
Murray's just saying, give it to me. Missed that one, though. And another turnover off the knee, and Sword on the drive. And that is 10 turnovers. Right now, Mississippi State on a pace for about 36 turnovers before it's over.
The problem is,
hopefully that won't happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. But as you watch this game, what you start to see out of Mississippi State is their flaws at the offensive end of the floor, the limited weapons that they have to score. And when it puts this much pressure on your defense, if your defense is having breakdowns and you're turning the ball over, the pressure and the sense of, you know, trying to figure it out, it becomes complicated for Mississippi State. This is a group, as a group, they're not used to winning basketball games.
Yeah, it's a whole culture thing. And they're not very deep to start with, obviously. Placed 8 guys maybe. 4 of the starters do average in double figures, which is good. Weatherspoon on the rebound and brings it down. Pretty high on him. Think that he's going to be a really good player someday. Let's see a little foul on Marcus Lee.
But that's what I was saying that Malik Newman should have done about 5 or 6 possessions ago when Marcus Lee came out to guard him. Drive him, get him in foul trouble, send him to the bench. Continue to be aggressive. You have to be in attack mode.
Matthews goes out. Briscoe comes back in. Right at the 8-minute mark, Weatherspoon with a jumper on the left wing.
And right on cue, as you were talking about, Ben Howland really believes he could be an all-conference caliber player by the time that he's done in Starkville.
Extra pass is off the mark. Kentucky turns it over. Malik Newman, the kick out. And he'll take the 3 straight away. Got it. Big shot right there. And John Calipari's going to call a timeout because that 12-point lead's evaporated down to 4.
Back-to-back possessions where you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance. And for Mississippi State, they need to have some chances at the offensive end. And Malik Newman does a nice job spotting up the talented freshman. Has it going from the outside.
This thing down by 4 with 7.5 to play in the first half. We talked about him being in his first year in Starkville. Northern Arizona took them to the NCAA tournament. And it was on to Pittsburgh. 2 Sweet 16s there. And then over a 3-year period at UCLA from 2006 to 2008, he won 97 games. 3 Final Fours, 1 runner-up finish. Now what he would like to do is get these guys somewhere, sometime in the NCAA tournament. He'd be one of only 12 coaches that's ever taken 4 teams, 4 different schools the NCAA tournament.
Well, you see the finishes in the third season. He's won the conference championship every stop that he's been in, all the different conferences. And those are complete rebuild programs, you know, losing records, and then has built them up in that third year. And I asked him specifically, I said, what is it about your 3-year plan? He goes, well, first of all, you've got to build a culture of unselfishness. You have to start with the fundamentals, and you have to get the right players that want to come in, compete, and are hungry to win. And I think that's what he's trying to do. A great recruiting class coming in for Mississippi State.
Early signing period, they got, what, 6 guys?
6 guys, and it's the 6th ranked recruiting class, according to ESPN.com and Recruiting Nation. And it's a defining class for the program because there's not a one-and-done guy probably in that group. So you've got 4-year players that are going to improve.
You have 4-year players. It helps your 3-year plan. Briscoe has 6.
He has played well in the early stages of this game on selfishness, making the right reads. Go along with those 6 points, he's got 3 assists.
Just thinking of those 12 other coaches that have taken 4 different schools to the NCAA tournament. As I was thinking about it, 3 of them came through here at one time or another. Tubby Smith, Rick Pitino, Eddie Sutton.
All right, Isaiah Briscoe on that last possession. And really this whole game has been playing an extremely smart game and not overly trying to create for himself, but it's just defensively he's been hounding out on the perimeter and then taking his opportunities when available and being unselfish and making the right reads to his teammates against his zone.
He didn't have the greatest game last Tuesday at LSU, but then he came back in the Alabama game, had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, played pretty clean ball, and that's what he's doing here again tonight. 10 on the shot clock. Tyler Ulis penetrates and throws up the teardrop that falls.
And this is so
nice
good.
drive.
And that's what I'm talking about being a quarterback. Shot clock, late shot clock situation, trying to manufacture offense, taking what they give you. We saw some great quarterback play last night.
Boy, I guess. You ever seen a guy play better in a losing effort than Deshaun Watson?
Unbelievable. I think he broke Vince Young's total offense record in a championship game.
Baseline jumper by Craig Sword. I called Craig Chicken earlier. That's because that's what all his teammates call him. I guess his mom would prefer if I call him Craig. Although I think she's the one that gave him the chicken nickname, so maybe it doesn't matter.
That was a story that Ben was telling us earlier today.
Here's Mulder on the outside. He's missed a couple of threes now.
And those are the type of shots that Ben Helen wants. Force others to beat you from the outside, other than Murray and Ulis.
Oh, great adjustment in midair by Sword to take that shot around the interior presence of the Kentucky defense. That's 8 for Sword.
And it's back to 4.
At the 5-minute mark. Ulis got a little too deep that time. He did get the extra pass to Lee, who missed him close. And picks up a foul to boot. That's going to be his 2nd foul. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm tomorrow night on ESPN. Pacers are at the Garden to battle the Celtics, and at 10:30, Clippers go for 10 in a row against the Heat. Our coverage starts with NBA Countdown, charged by Dew at 7:30. Both games are streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
And Paul George, a couple of great games against the Celtics. They faced off already twice this year. The Pacers have won both, and Paul George in both games had 26 points.
Sword again, a good first move. And again, he finishes.
His ability to get to his spot and elevate up before the defense can is what's creating the offensive opportunities.
Here's Tyler Ulis, comes up short. Rebound off to Reddy, and a chance right now for Mississippi State to tie or take the lead.
Oh, that's not close.
That is not a good shot. Zupardo with an air ball.
It's not good.
Went that chance.
It's not good before the release if both of us know that it has no chance of going in.
That one had a good chance of going in. Vizier with a slam.
If you give up baseline, you're giving up the middle of your defense. And that's exactly what happened.
Been a pretty subdued crowd at Rupp Arena tonight. That brought them to their feet to see their highly touted freshman with his first 2 points of the game. 7 on the shot clock. Behind the back, Zapata's going to try another one. That was another brick. It might not be his shot. I'm just saying.
42% on the season from beyond the arc with those first 2 looks.
Yeah, somebody should have told him that, I don't think. Poythress, offensive foul. That's his second.
A 4-point lead for Kentucky, and they did it with a little bit of flair coming on the baseline. The drive by Briscoe, the finish, and Woo Nation stands up. Woo!
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by The Finest Hours, based on the incredible true story, in theaters January 29th.
All right, Carl, thanks. Here it's Kentucky with a lead by 4, 29-25, with 3:14 remaining in the half. We check in with Shannon.
You know, in that last huddle for Kentucky, it was Isaiah Briscoe that was really challenging the guys. He said, come on, guys, we really have to get some stops on over the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But, you know, Briscoe had a challenge of his own coming into this game. Malik Newman is a buddy of his. They played at AAU, very good friends. Of course, Newman was recruited by Kentucky. Sent Briscoe a text yesterday before he boarded the plane. He said, be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're playing like it tonight. Here's Malik.
Oh, Mississippi State shooting 61% from the floor so far.
And Mississippi State only 40, and yet they're within striking distance right now. Block shot underneath by Willis.
I go back to Carl Ravitch talking about Virginia, saying they're having a hard time defending and scoring. That's usually not a good recipe.
And they got beat by Georgia Tech on Saturday. That was their second loss in a row. They went from 4th in the country to dropping, and they'll drop farther if that holds up tonight against Miami.
Tell you what, Miami, a very good basketball team, though. It's a little bit underrated, I think, right now.
Going to have to hurry to get this shot away. And Willis, a 3 at the buzzer. It's a good 3-point shooter, and he had just enough time to get that out of his hands and drilled it to put Kentucky back up by 7.
I was here for the season opener against Albany, and he had 14 points in that game. This crowd was electrified watching him score and how important that role was for him. And I think they need his consistency from the outside.
He did that against LSU last Tuesday night. Comes in averaging a little over 5 points a game. And that prayer sent up by Ruddy, looking for a foul, didn't get it. Here's Mulder on the drive the other way, and a good one it is.
Well, that gives a little bit of life here inside Rupp. And Mulder gave life to them a week ago on Tuesday night in the game that you were at. 8 rebounds, 5 points. He was aggressive, and it was that energy and the way he was playing. It started to infuse to his teammates.
Finally, a 3 goes for Johnny Zapata.
53% of his makes on the season have been from beyond the arc. That one looked a lot better than the first 2 attempts.
That's for sure. Nice look underneath. Briscoe on the back door from Murray.
The zone was too spread out that time for Mississippi State.
So under a minute to play in the half. Bulldogs could use one more really good look and one more bucket here. Here's Aparto on the drive, and he threw it away. 12th turnover suffered by the Bulldogs.
Look out.
Willis kept it alive. I thought it was flying out of bounds. Those long arms helped the cause. He gets it back. Thought about a 3. It's about a 9-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock, and the big fella buries another triple.
What a great possession for Derek Willis.
Double-digit lead is back, up 11. Final seconds, and now everybody at Rupp standing. Newman taking a long time, a long ways away from the hoop. Let's fly, and his 3 goes just before the buzzer. So Malik Newman had an answer for Willis to cut the lead back to single digits at halftime.
They did a nice job coming that time out. Shannon Spake said Isaiah Briscoe wanted to string together some stops. They did right up until that final possession.
Wildcats hit their last 5 shots They lead 39-31. John Calipari's with Shannon.
Coach, you guys got off to such a fast start. What are your thoughts as this first half has progressed?
Well, we got a couple no-shows again. It's hard when you have a couple guys that don't think it's their responsibility to go dominate a game. If they're capable, this is what happens. Give Mississippi State credit. They didn't stop. They can break you down. They can score different ways.
What kind of example did Willis set in just the last 3 minutes?
He just gave a three up. He just gave the one guy that can shoot a three. So we got a ways to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Derek got him a couple threes, but he gave up a three. John Calipari heads to the locker room with his team up by 8. 39-31. It's time for the Jeep halftime report. Carl and Seth, they're standing by, fellas. The SEC on ESPN from Lexington and Rupp Arena as our Super Tuesday continues. With the Wildcats in front 39-31 as you take a look at the statistics in the first half. Mississippi State really warmed up. At one point they were shooting 40% from the floor. They got up to 59. 6 threes so far in the first half for Kentucky. And they've needed those 6 threes to maintain the lead. They got it as high as 12. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, Sean Farnham. Alex Poythress had a career-high 25 points the other day. He's got 0 at halftime, but some of the slack's getting picked up elsewhere.
Yeah, he had 17 in the first half, actually, in that game against Alabama, but Isaiah Briscoe has been outstanding here in the first half, not just as a scorer, but mainly as a passer. 4 assists is a team high and doing an excellent job collapsing the defense and opening up his teammates. And then in transition, he's looked to attack and be aggressive and finish underneath. 4 of 5, so the efficiency very strong for Isaiah Briscoe.
There's his numbers. The leading scorer was Jamal Murray, who had 3 threes in the first half. Ulis had 7 as well. And Mississippi State did a nice job to close the gap with a 3-pointer right before the halftime buzzer. So we start the second half with the Cats up by 8.
Coach Calipari talking about players showing up and being ready to go. The backcourt once again shouldering the load, though. 28 of the 39 points for the team. Gavin Ware underneath, and that's a good sign because he only played 10 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble and some turnovers. So he starts strong with the first basket of the second half. One of the most efficient players in all of college basketball, and those 3 points, he's averaging over 17 per contest. A big second half for him underneath could really help out Mississippi State.
Here's Murray off the mark with his opening 3 of this half. Marcus Lee kept it alive, though. And now Murray, the extra dish underneath the Briscoe, the guy that Sean's just talking about. And he picks up where he left off. 10 for Isaiah Briscoe.
He's been in attack mode right from the start.
I'm pretty sure he's not one of the guys that John Calipari was in the face of at halftime. I think if he thought all the guys he played with his intensity, he would have been a little happier talking to Shannon.
Well, a good start, though, for Lee. Back-to-back rebounds. He had the offensive end down here that gave him the second chance opportunity, then gets the defensive opportunity. So little things like that, you start to energize yourself a little bit, start to become a little bit more productive.
Murray got an open Ulis on the wing, and he buries the 3. 10 for Ulis. That's his second 3 of the night.
High percentage look, though, once again coming off the pass, the unselfishness from the guard group, and that's going to be an easy call.
Offensive foul on Reddy as we check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, Ben Howland frustrated coming out of that locker room. He said, listen, we got it down to 3. We had a chance to seal the deal, and we just weren't able to do it. Offensively, he said they got to clean it up, limit those turnovers, and defensively, he specifically pointed out number 13 in white. You already talked about Isaiah Briscoe, Sean. He was tremendous in that first half and getting off to a strong second.
Well, you know, talk about those turnovers, as Shannon was just alluding to, 12 turnovers in the first half. They average about 12 turnovers per game. And so when you start losing possessions and you're on pace for 24 turnovers, you're not winning in Rupp Arena if you turn the ball over 24 times.
Gavin Ware just picked up his 3rd foul. That's not good news for the Bulldogs. We were just talking about the strong start he had after only playing 10 minutes in the first half, and now he's got worse foul trouble. And Poythress continues to struggle.
I've thought this since I was here on Big Blue Madness, that Alex Poythress is the key for this team. He has to be the muscle. He has to be the toughness. He has to be the guy that is productive every single night. And that lack of consistency is what has shown up over the course of this season so far.
Reddy drove it the length of the court and missed in close. Back come the Cats. Murray in some traffic, and he threw it away. Talked about career high in the 77-66 win over Alabama for Poythress. Had 25 points, 7 rebounds. He went 8 out of 10 from the floor, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and tonight still 0.
You want to be memorable. You want people to know that you're out on the floor, and Alex Poythress is talented enough where everybody every single night should know that he's out there.
They're going to remember him tonight, but it's for the wrong reason so far. Tyler Ulis picks up his first foul. So a fresh shot clock for the Bulldogs. Sword had it rejected by Lee. He and Ulis almost both stepped on the baseline, trying to battle for the loose ball. Briscoe. Nobody cut him off. The ball came out anyway. And two officials, Ron Groover and Roger Ayers, looking at each other. Little help on the call. It'll be Kentucky ball.
What I didn't like about this play from Mississippi State's perspective is Craig Sword has an opportunity to grab it. He doesn't. He anticipates that it's going the other way. Don't anticipate the call. You've got to make the play.
Mississippi State still looking for an offensive rebound in the game. That's amazing. Ulis pull up from 15. Got it. Well, we talked about him when we opened up the game tonight and opened up Super Tuesday, how consistent he's been. And the Farnham foul right on cue, because now he's got 12 points and he's looking like the Tyler Ulis that we've seen pretty much in all 15 games so far this year, including last year when he was pretty dynamic too down the stretch.
To me, his consistency, he limits his turnovers overall. I mean, just does an outstanding job of valuing the basketball.
Here he's helping on defense and comes up with a steal. And now he'll lead the break ahead to Murray. And Murray got mugged underneath. He'll go to the line. Foul on Travis Daniels.
Well, and that is a prime example right there of Tyler Ulis and his impact in all phases of the game. It starts at the defensive end. You crack down. You create the turnover by deflecting the ball away. Your head is up. You try to make your teammate better by throwing it ahead. Excellent job by Tyler Ulis. And a prime example of his leadership and what he can bring to the table just as far as his effort every single night. The consistency, the warrior mentality that he plays with.
We only had 3 free throws in the first half. In the entire first half, we've had 3 so far in the second half. They're all misses until Jamal Murray nailed that one. And the lead, the biggest of the night, at 14 for Kentucky. Ranked 14th in the country.
Look at how uncomfortable Mississippi State is out on the perimeter. And that turnover right there is an example of the pressure and how they're extending out. And every time a Mississippi State player has their hands on the ball, they are anticipating someone being there in their face.
You saw Kentucky was 16 points off the Mississippi State turnovers. Ulis, they just left him open and he buried it.
Struggled a little bit with his shot in the first half. He is not struggling with it here in the second half.
That's for sure. 14 for Tyler to be the leading scorer for either team.
There you go.
There's another turnover. Another
Isaiah Briscoe
foul.
is having an outstanding game tonight. He is doing it at both ends of the floor. That time creating once again the contact to regain possession for the Kentucky Wildcats.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lexus. Introducing the all-new Lexus RX and RX Hybrid.
Biggest lead of the night. That guy's got a new hat, new face paint, new cape, same dance moves. 49-33 as we take a look at tonight's Reese's perfect play.
Well, I think you look at the zone, and you got to have the read option against the zone, and that's what you're going to see on this play. As Marcus Lee comes and sets the screen, this is the guy you've got to read. If he stays in that position, it's opening up this entire side of the floor. So as you pinch in, Malik Newman steps too. That's what creates the wide open, uncontested look for them the outside, and that is a perfect execution for the Kentucky Wildcats.
You wanted people to forget the football season, so you put a read option in there. Nice one. Good job, partner.
Can I just tell you, watching the game last night with you was a treat. All right, almost as much as watching Isaiah Briscoe play tonight. But I want people to know that when Clemson had the ball, you said Hunter Renfree is the guy that you got to watch. 2 plays later, he scored a touchdown.
Get lucky sometimes.
No. Should I also tell him that you said O.J. Howard was a big-time player with Gronk-like skills?
Yep.
And then he has over 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns?
Well, we were saying he hadn't had a touchdown all year. Got a couple big ones last night. Congratulations to Coach Saban and the Tide, by the way.
The only thing better than you breaking it down was the food we had at Tony's.
That was pretty good food.
Oh.
Yeah. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Ulis trying to penetrate, fouled by Witherspoon. That'll be his second. More college hoops coming up on Saturday at noon. NC State and North Carolina getting together. Always a dandy when those two collide. Then at 2 o'clock, #1 Kansas. I don't know if they'll be still #1, but they will be at least until next week. They take on TCU. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Right now, are they still trailing? They were.
Well, just as important as Tyler Ulis is to what they do here, Frank Mason has been outstanding for Kansas.
He's one of the great athletes in Kentucky history. Tim Couch, who was on the plane with us yesterday, still has a home here and one in Florida. I said, wait a minute, you're coming to Lexington, it's 25 degrees. Maybe you should have stayed in Florida. Ulis just on the baseline. Loose ball picked up by the Bulldogs. Here's Witherspoon for 3. Nice job. Ulis actually tipped that ball to Poythress so he could get the rebound. Here's a lob underneath. Labissiere with a slam, his second of the night.
You make things easy for your teammates with great vision, great awareness. And he threw it up there where only Scal could get it.
20-point advantage now. Remember, this was a close game at halftime. And Scal with a rejection underneath. So on one end he gets a flush, block shot on the other. And now Murray for a triple. Craig Sword with a rebound, and he's going to get bumped by Ulis.
As Tyler Ulis drives the middle lane, what you need to watch is the back line of the defense. All 3 of these players take a step in this direction towards him, and what that does is leaves the middle wide open underneath, and that starts with poor communication. As a defense, you have to talk your way through. So even in the zone, you can pass your guy through, but you need to make sure that everybody has somebody in the general vicinity, and that was not the case.
You thought that was a problem they had even at the shoot-around today, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's
communication.
It's an overall it's a program problem right now, and one that Ben Howland is consistently trying to ingrain in his team. Winning teams talk. If you're quiet, you're not winning.
Murray with the foul. Second foul on Jamal. And the 4th team foul. So a fresh shot clock and ready. At the ready on the baseline. Got it into Witherspoon, and he knocked down a 2-pointer just inside the 3-point line. He's got a good looking shot. Matthews goes in 1-on-3 and picks up the personal foul. Charging on Matthews. And I think he's coming out.
You just got to be smart. Stop short of that. Don't be afraid to utilize the backboard and the square. Soft touch up over the top.
Coach Calipari is going to calmly tell him that very thing.
When there's 3 people standing in front of you and they're all stopped,
yeah,
you might not want to run right through them.
Here's Sword trying to run through the defense and does. 12 for Craig.
Well, he has been the bright spot for Mississippi State's offense.
Came in averaging 12.4, and he's right on that right now.
Yep, moving screen.
Marcus Lee picks up his third foul.
Well, and the crazy thing about that is, you know, people often look at the screener and say, well, he was moving on the screen. But sometimes it comes to the timing of the offense. And it's the responsibility of the ball handler to force the defense down underneath that screen and come off of it shoulder to shoulder. If you give that space, that's where the big guys try to move. And when they move, that's the foul.
That's why Mulder's sitting right now. Witherspoon needs some help. Newman having trouble getting rid of the ball. Here's Ware with 6 to shoot. Back out. Newman. Battle for the rebound. Good hustle by Briscoe again. And the fans appreciate that play by number 13.
I appreciate everything that Isaiah Briscoe has done tonight. I mean, he is all over the place. The want-to aspect of the game, he's got that one down. You know, there may be inconsistencies. There may be nights where you don't shoot the ball well, but one thing that should always be a constant is your effort.
He's definitely had that tonight. Ulis in some traffic. Murray got up in the air. It was a nice run by Sword out to defend him, and then he threw it away.
Well, Kentucky in firm control here. You know what happened tonight in Washington? It was the State of the Union.
Oh, don't tell me you got one.
Oh, I've got the state of college basketball for you. Buckle up.
All right, Mr. President. All right, guys, here's Sean's state of college basketball. Go ahead.
I think it's very important that opportunity becomes bliss in college basketball. Increase of possessions by almost 5 per game, partner. And we're bridging the gap between the haves and the have-nots. There's no elite team this year, but there's a lot of good teams. So competitive balance. And then foreign relations, I think, is always key. Buddy Hill from the Bahamas and Ben Simmons from Australia as we continue to reach out to our foreign partners to bring the best talent to college basketball.
That was excellent. That was excellent. I don't know if the president could top that or not. He is a big hoops fan, though. We weren't invited to his final State of the Union.
Everybody else was.
I know, it seemed like it. I have to do the game. I think that's the only reason they probably didn't invite us. Knew it was Super Tuesday. We were probably busy.
It's going to be a great ride in the SEC because of that lack of balance. As far as having an elite team, you're going to see the word parity people use. I prefer to use that we've got a lot of balance within the conference.
Well, last year there was an imbalance of power because Kentucky was 38-0 before they lost.
Well, and I think in college basketball in general, we knew coming into the year, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Duke were a cut above everybody else. This year we've come in already this season and we're still trying to figure it out. And I think that's a good thing as far as entertainment value goes in close games and great games. We saw one just a week ago on Monday, that Oklahoma-Kansas game. I think it'll be tough to surpass that as far as the high-level quality basketball we saw.
I would love to see that game be the national championship game one time, you know, where it just went and just wouldn't stop. It was great.
I was sitting in my hotel in Knoxville, Tennessee, getting ready for the Florida-Tennessee game last week when that was on. And I kept thinking to myself, I got to get some sleep. But then I really didn't want to.
I was doing the same thing in Baton Rouge at the time. And then it was so good you couldn't go to sleep.
Then you didn't want it to end.
Now, this one was good at times in the first half. Mississippi State made a couple of runs after Kentucky had gotten up by 12. Which is where they are right now. Off the window by Tyler Ulis. Little hang time. And then off the window. And Mom is enjoying it.
That's good. I second his mom's reaction. And this was good ball movement. See the space, attack it, finish through the contact, and use the glass. He is 4 for 5 in the second half, now with 10 points.
And a three-point play to cap it there. A
great second half for Tyler Ulis.
17 for the game, which is .3 above his average. There's a little collision with Poythress and Sword. And 3 fouls on Alex. Still without a point, but 3 personals. So the guy they call Chicken going to the free throw line. 14 on the night. 1,276 on his Mississippi State career.
Well, second team all SEC a season ago for Ben Howland. It's been important to have some experience on this roster.
Senior out of Montgomery, Alabama. Got the second.
I want to say if you're going to be a team and you're going to beat Kentucky in this building, you got to be above average across the board.
That was a great feed again by Ulis. This time to Poythress with his first basket on the lob. Pretty pass by Tyler Ulis on the other end.
Tyler Ulis always having vision and awareness of the defense as Gavin Ware cheated up. And that's a nice play because what happens is Marcus Lee steps up and Gavin Ware follows him. And when you follow the big up, that's what leaves that big space in the middle of the paint.
Newman 3 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. Averaging 13 and has 12 right now.
You start to see a little bit better bounce in the second half from Kentucky across the board.
Murray so hot in the first half and not in the second. Sword again against Poythress. Lost that battle, and Lee shags it down on the baseline and then stepped out of bounds. Fans don't like this call, but he was forced on the baseline by the double team.
I might go with a foul there. I think there was some contact. And that ball should be Kentucky's basketball going the other direction.
Look at Briscoe all over Weatherspoon. And that time Weatherspoon got around him. Second effort. Second chance, and he scores.
You see glimpses, don't you? You watch him play as a freshman and you think to yourself, you know what? Ben Howland's right.
Yeah.
He's got a chance.
First offensive rebound of the game on the other end that led to that second chance points by Witherspoon.
Well, and to be great, though, for Witherspoon, you can't just be glimpses. It's got to be consistency. And that's going to be the evolution of who he is as a player. And if you look at Ben Howland's track record, he develops talent.
Open three. Nope, it's going to be a two-pointer. Didn't matter. Wasn't close. And here's Murray on the drive. His first field goal of the second half. That gets the crowd excited. The 9-minute mark, the lead is back to 16. Ware underneath, and he's fouled by Lee.
Jamal Murray in transition. Kentucky always so dangerous. You airball, and an airball is essentially a pass to your opponent to run out. And then a nice dump down pass between a very small window. Good pivot footwork from Malik Newman, who's struggled offensively here in the second half. Only one shot attempt for the talented freshman, but he set the table for Gavin Ware.
Gavin Ware, local product, Starkville High School, right there in Starkville, Mississippi. You mentioned their leading scorer at over 17, leading rebounder at 8 a game, leads the SEC in field goal percentage at 65%. And we had a lane violation, so opportunity for a three-point play as Daniel stepped in the paint. Another crazy turnover right there, or a lack of
just a lack
concentration.
Of mental focus.
No look pass to Briscoe, and the extra dish to Murray for three.
That's just great spacing amongst the three guards. They're such in a rhythm and great sync tonight. The unselfishness that we've seen. That ball came down into the paint as Briscoe elevated up, and he immediately knew where he was going with it.
Newman in traffic, fouled by Briscoe. He'll go to the free throw line.
We're going to see Briscoe cheat right up into the middle of the zone as he catches the ball right here. Look at the space out here. Everybody's watching the ball, and they have a tendency to do that at Mississippi State. And when you watch the ball, you lose your man. And beautiful move, relocating and moving without the ball by Jamal Murray.
You know, Sean and Brad, I've been watching Malik Newman the last couple minutes, and he seems to really be favoring that right leg. You can see him kind of stretching it out, particularly right now when he's at the free throw line, but he has been favoring it a little bit over the last couple minutes.
He's got that sleeve on his right calf, and that looks like maybe that's where the problem is right now.
He battled turf toe early, missed about 3 weeks of practice time leading up to the season, and has been trying to play catch up for a majority of his freshman campaign.
Perfect from the stripe tonight, 14 for the game.
What I like about what he's done is he's gotten himself to the free throw line. You know, when you get to the free throw line, you knock down those shots. You manufacture some of your offense.
Yep. This is all his offense in the second half spent from the line. 8 on the shot clock as we approach 8 for the game. Ball knocked out. Kentucky will inbound with 6 to shoot. Murray to Briscoe. Extra pass is one too many. I.J. Reddy missed the jumper. Poythress kept it alive. And now Kentucky pulls it out near midcourt with Tyler Ulis up by 15. Yeah. You heard John Calipari, that was across the court. It's not like we have him mic'd.
The key is the execution.
Right now, he's all in favor of it. As they just turned it over again. Yeah. 65 to 50.
Might not have liked that possession, but there's been plenty of good ones tonight. Good unselfishness from the perimeter. Finding the big fellas underneath. 15-point lead for the Cats.
Marlon Pyle was talking about Tyler Ulis and what John Calipari has thought of his point guard. Here's some pretty good ones that he's had along the way. Tyreek and Derrick Rose in Memphis, John Wall and Brandon Knight here. And now second half has been Tyler Ulis' show.
Well, you can't even put all the great guards that have played under Coach Cal on one screen, but Tyler Ulis here in the second half has done an excellent job scoring the basketball, being aggressive, picking and choosing his moments to assert himself in the offense. But not just that, he's been unselfish. He's had a couple of lobs up over the top. He's made plays where he's dug in deep defensively and forced turnovers.
You know, even on that 38-1 run last year, there were a lot of times when they were a better team with him on the floor. Remember, they had the Harrison twins. I mean, you just don't sit those guys.
No, and
but he was a real catalyst last year at the end of the year.
Well, and he finished second in the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio last year behind Monte Morris of Iowa State. And tonight, 17 points to go with 4 assists. And Murray's got 17. Briscoe's got 14 and 5. They've combined for 48 of the 65 points have come from the backcourt of the Kentucky Wildcats, and their level of efficiency has been really strong tonight.
Hey, Brad, you know, and Sean, outside of just the stuff that he does on the court, the stats that he fills up, Tyler Ulis, according to John Robick, assistant head coach, he said he's one of the smartest players he's coached in 27, 28 years of being on that bench. And, you know, Tyler told me earlier in the year he used to actually meet with Coach Calipari to talk about the state of the team. He doesn't need to do that anymore. He's the general on the floor, and he knows what he needs to do.
Well, Shannon, that's a great point. It's just because you're the guy that returns and the guy that people are focused on doesn't mean you're a great leader. Sometimes you've got to learn to be a leader, and sometimes it takes a little bit of confidence as you grow into that role. I think that's what those meetings with Coach Cal were about early in the season, and now he doesn't need it anymore. This is clearly his team.
Briscoe. Looks like there's going to be a foul in the lane on that drive. It was on Craig Sword. That's his second tonight. After number 3, Maryland and Michigan get together. Stick around for Sports Center at night with Jay Harris. And we got a little bit of a ruckus going on. And maybe Jay and Lisa Kearney can talk about that tonight on SportsCenter.
I was so enthralled with your read of the SportsCenter highlight, I was looking down.
I was too. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened here.
AJ Reddy and Tyler Ulis, a little pushing and shoving, and then it just kind of escalated quickly. A little bump, a little talk, a little push. Briscoe with a push, and then coming right back at it, and Jamal Murray really got fired up right there.
And then Craig Sword, the senior, got in there to break everything up along with the officials. So right now the officials are taking a look at the monitor on the far side of the scorers table to see what action is going to be taken here. Oh, we're just smooth riding along, weren't we?
Everything
was good. Felt like I was on your home turf in California, just grooving with the game, and all of a sudden
we had it set in cruise control.
We did.
Everything was just going great. You got to finish that SportsCenter read though, because I was.
Should I start all over?
Yeah, I wanted to know what was coming up on SportsCenter
I'm going
tonight.
to tell you tonight after Maryland and Michigan. Stick around for SportsCenter at night with Jay Harris and Lisa Kearney. They're going to have all the highlights from a great night of sports, including the NHL, NBA, college hoops. SportsCenter at night, also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
I'm ready. I can't wait.
I am too.
We'll finish up here. Go watch that game at Pies and Pints.
Yep.
Have a little pizza.
And a pint.
You want some SportsCenter.
And then we'll watch some SportsCenter. Jay and Lisa, if you're paying attention right now, you know that you're going to have at least two really interested viewers, Sean and I. Here's another look at little shove, little push, and then a little bigger push. And you would think it's going to be a foul on Reddy, on Ulis, on Murray. One, he was trying to be the peacekeeper.
It's going to be interesting with what they do here. To me, all right, bring the coaches together, say, hey, this stops right now, no more of this, and let's just go on and play.
I mean, that's what Ben Holland is saying right now.
I mean, I've pushed you harder to try to get a word in it sometimes when we're here working together.
Boy, do you ever. I got a bruise on my right arm. So Tony Green's got the headset on over there. He's going to be the guy that's going to make the final determination along with Ron Groover and Roger Ayers.
Well, I'll tell you what, with West, as we show you this again, but with West Virginia tonight hosting Kansas, think about this week for West Virginia. They're a more physical team. They do an excellent job turning their opponents over and creating offense. They got Kansas at home tonight. Last time we checked, they were in the lead there.
10, I think.
All right. If they beat Kansas, their reward is going to Oklahoma, which is #2 in the country on Saturday.
It's a golden opportunity to pick up two monstrous wins. All right, so the final conference here. Tony's the one doing the talking. Not that Ron and Roger aren't having their input.
West Virginia up 8 with about 11.5 to go in that contest at home. A lot of conversation.
Now the fans are getting restless.
I'm restless.
And it'll probably be Tony Green that gets the two coaches together, and then one of those guys will come over and let us know. And on the way right now is Ron Groover over to talk to Sean. We're going to have two dead ball technicals. And one's going to be on I.J. Reddy. I got part of that, Sean. Two dead ball technicals, right?
Yeah, 2 dead ball technical fouls against Kentucky. So Ulis and Briscoe, and then Reddy got the technical foul at the other end of the floor. So they'll shoot the 1-on-1 down here. Then they're going to shoot the dead ball technical foul, and then it'll be Mississippi State's ball right in front of us.
I think they got the number wrong on the other one. I think it should be on Murray, the other technical, not Briscoe. And that's what JD is telling us over here too. So he just gave you the wrong number. 23, not 13. So Murray and Ulis for Kentucky and Reddy for Mississippi State. And now we're down to 6 minutes of our lives that we'll never get back. Briscoe at the free throw line.
Oh.
Briscoe with the miss. It's still a 12-point game. The Bulldogs hit their free throws. It's going to get a little closer here at the 6.5-minute mark.
That was a 1-on-1. So
that's it.
They almost awarded a second opportunity of the 1-on-1. And now it'll go to the other side. And here's the free throw.
And Reddy's an 83% free throw shooter. First trip to the line tonight, though. And rolls around and in for him. I.J. Jr. out of North Little Rock, Arkansas. Got them both. So that cuts the lead down to 10. And now the Dogs get the ball.
That is a sharp whistle, partner.
They're still saying it was on Briscoe, I guess. They changed their minds a couple times, whether it was Briscoe or Murray with a technical. Nice drive by Craig Sword, who's had a huge second half.
And now it's under 10. And we saw this in the first half. Mississippi State makes a run. Can they sustain this run? It starts at this end, though. They got to continue to try to defend.
Looking to get a stop now that they've got it down to 8.
Well, they're out of their zone and they're playing man-to-man because the zone has been sliced up all night long by Kentucky, in particular here in the second half. And Craig Sword goes through the legs a couple times, trying to rock him to sleep, and gets the step. Helps side defensive rotation a step slow. Derek Willis has got to do a better job pinching in and closing that lane.
Craig making like Colonel Sanders, chicken in a bucket.
I'm hungry.
You already said what you're having after the game, pizza.
But I'm hungry.
Ulis at the free throw line. $18 for Tyler. His career high at 23. That was last Super Tuesday against LSU. Got them both.
And Coach Calipari just was yelling at Jamal Murray, you please stop him or let somebody else guard him.
Here's Weatherspoon all the way down. A little too strong off the glass. Kept alive by Ware. Finally, they get a couple of offensive rebounds, and then Marcus Lee fouls him. And that's going to be it for Lee. He fouled out last Tuesday. He fouls out again tonight.
Well, a nice job on the glass. 9 rebounds on the game for Marcus Lee. Almost a non-factor, though, in the scoring column and production as far as points go in the paint. And rotated over, and when he rotated over, you can't ask Jamal Murray to box out Gavin Ware. That's advantage Mississippi State. And then the rotation came back slow, and that's where the contact was made.
Through 15 games, if you add up Marcus Lee and Alex Poythress, they average 19 points and 14 rebounds a game. Tonight, one guy's fouled out with 2. The other guy has 2 points, that is. So just inconsistency on the inside game for Kentucky, I think, has been their biggest problem so far this year.
Well, and I think it's also part of what Coach Calipari has built here at Kentucky. And just the level of expectation of production underneath. And this group isn't last year's group. And last year's group wasn't the group before.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, everything changes and evolves with the pieces that you have. This is a much more perimeter-dominated basketball team, and it will be for the rest of the season. You can ask for better energy and better consistency from the guys underneath, but it's the guys on the outside that have to make the plays.
Ulis with 7 on the shot clock, threw it away. Kentucky with a turnover, and now an opportunity for the Bulldogs to get it down to 6 or maybe 5.
This Mississippi State team is going to fight, and they're going to play a full 40. They haven't played a clean 40, but they're going to fight all the way through. They hung right there with Texas A&M, a 1-point loss for Mississippi State.
Remember, the seniors have seen Rupp Arena before, but some of these young guys are going, wow, there's 24,000 people in here, Coach. Coach Howland, for the fact, had he not been here with Pittsburgh in the NCAA tournament at one time, it would have been his first trip in here. First trip in as an SEC head coach, anyway. Place can be pretty intimidating, but right now his club is fighting and scratching and doing what Bulldogs do, putting their nose down to the floor and playing Kentucky as hard as they can. 5 minutes to go. Kentucky with a 67-59 lead.
The ironic aspect of it is their man-to-man has been one of the worst parts of their team all year long, which is why Ben Howland has played the zone, even though he much rather prefer play man-to-man. But they've done a nice job matching up here in the second half.
And foul underneath as Willis on the drive will go to the free throw line.
I think you have to be careful, though, of not to overextend within your man-to-man. And I think that's exactly what happened that time and allowed that lane to drive. And then the dump off to Willis.
Greg Sword picks up his 4th foul. They definitely need him out there. He's been their engine tonight. Derek Willis, perfect on the season from the line, 9 for 9. Derek, a junior out of Mount Washington, Kentucky, drills them both. Got a good stroke as a three-point shooter and from the free throw line. 8 points for him tonight. And he gets the lead back to double digits.
We got Tyler Ulis on Craig Sword.
Three-pointer goes for Fred Thomas. His first points of the game, and it was a big one.
And he's one of the more prolific three-point shooters for Mississippi State. He loves to spot up on the wing, and that's where he was on that catch.
So at the 4-minute mark, we're still in single digits. Murray just changed that again. Right back to 10, courtesy of Jamal Murray. That's his 4th three-pointer of the night. Gavin Ware in close. Got it.
Just overpowering on the block. Got both feet in the paint. They quickly got him the ball. He created the angle to score.
And a whistle, got a foul underneath, and a timeout with 3:36 remaining in the ball game at Rupp. 72-64. Kentucky in front as we join Carl Ravitch in the studio. Carl.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Hotels.com, the obvious choice for hotels.
72-64 with 3:36 remaining. Number 14, Kentucky trying to hold on, but Mississippi State, Craig Sword making it tough on him, Sean.
Well, you know he's making it tough on himself, too, but he's good enough to get it done. Well, we've shown you highlights of Kentucky sharing the basketball and shifting the defense. You've seen a one-man show have to create and manufacture points for his team, and in doing so, he's kept Mississippi State in this game, in particular in the second half, where he continues to be aggressive and attack. You see his numbers overall very balanced, 20 points.
Jamal Murray at the free throw line, a 78% free throw shooter.
When are you making the news with the NFL? 2 teams now coming to Inglewood.
I thought it was going to be the exact opposite, or not maybe exact opposite, but it sounded like the Raiders and the Chargers in a different location. So that's the breaking news. Sports Center tonight will have all of that for you.
The stadium looks nice, though.
All concepts look great. That's just a drawing. What do you mean the stadium looks great? It's just because it's close to your house. That's why it looks so good to you.
I'd like to go to an NFL football game every now and then. It'd be nice. They'll have options. They've got 2 teams.
There you go. You can choose whoever you want to cheer for. Long three goes again by Fred Thomas. And a quick timeout. Back down to 7. 74-67, courtesy of Fred Thomas, senior out of Jackson, Mississippi. Big time shot.
He said, you got to come off that ball screen harder and make a play.
He's saying, don't be mellow, my friend. No mellow.
Oh, Mello! You're a great player, Mello! That's pretty good there, Brad. Hey, who he's got to pass the ball to? Diamond Stone. He's starting to come on. That freshman is going to be huge for Mark Turgeon and the Terps.
Ulis got it knocked away by Witherspoon. And here comes the Bulldogs. Chance to get it tight here in the last 2.5 minutes. not a good drive. And they got a timeout, though, underneath.
Smart play. 2:43. You got to value the possession if you're Mississippi State. You over dribble penetrate. You put yourself in a bad spot. You'd rather get something set up than turn the ball over.
Down to one timeout now for Mississippi State. Gives us a reminder for you of upcoming games to watch. Big Ten, Maryland and Michigan State on the 23rd, 25th. ACC battle, Duke and Miami, Iowa State and Kansas. That Saturday game, it looks odd to you. That's part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. That's why it's not a conference game. But Oklahoma and LSU get together. And then the rest of the schedule in the next, what are we talking about, 2 weeks or so.
A lot of great basketball games. You can go back to, again, what I was mentioning at the State of the Union of college basketball. All those teams are really good teams.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, you should see good competitive matchups.
Ware battling with Poythress, and I mean battling right now. They'd like to get it inside to their leading scorer. They're having trouble doing so, though. 7 on the shot clock. Witherspoon, pull up 15-footer, got it. Quindary Witherspoon.
You see these glimpses where offensively they go on this string where they're consistently making shots, and you wonder why can't they sustain this for a longer period of time for Mississippi State.
Remember, Kentucky had a 20-point lead in this half. It's down to 5, and we're down to 2 minutes and change to play. All of a sudden, the Kentucky faithful are pretty quiet. Poythress try to go through a double team, rebound off to Ware. Here comes Craig Sword. Kentucky's lead diced down to 5. Knocked out of bounds by Briscoe.
It's under 2 minutes if they want to take a look at it. And that's what the officials will do. They'll take a look at this. It could be off Mississippi State.
There's another look. Yeah, I think you're right.
That one might change and go the other direction.
It was another great play by Briscoe. Actually, first he took a shoulder, and he was backpedaling.
Yeah, you're right, and that's going to go the other direction. I mean, great play by Isaiah Briscoe. How many times have we mentioned Isaiah Briscoe's name tonight over the course of this broadcast?
Stripped the ball, and then Sword trying to regain the handle. Looks like it was his fingertips that touched it last. We'll let Tony Green make that determination. I think it's a pretty quick call.
Well, they're staying Mississippi State. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked. I saw something different there. Well, for Ben Helen, that acts as another timeout. Remember, they only had one timeout, so now you can set up the out-of-bounds play underneath that you want and try to make this a one-possession game.
Okay, I'm with you. I thought it was off Mississippi State. Here's Witherspoon, though. Three-pointer rimmed out. Well, Kentucky gets it back anyway. Maybe that's poetic justice. I don't know. And Briscoe draws a double team. Murray, Kentucky trying to keep it away, and they threw it away. Fred Thomas thought about taking a three. We're down to a minute and a half to go. Ready, guarded by Ulis. 13 to shoot, 1:19 to play. Ready, pull up. He got bumped and it went in anyway. Two-pointer, I.J. Ready.
How about the fight of Mississippi State and Ben Howland's team? As you mentioned, down 20 to now just down 3. A little bit of a panic at the offensive end by Derek Willis. It allows the opportunity and the patience offensively. They elevate, they screen up top. Poythress doesn't even put a hand up. He kept his hands down by his side, ready, willing and able to knock it down.
Remember back when the double technicals were called. Take you back, not actually a key play, but a key incident right there. Double technicals. The free throws were made by Mississippi State. They got the ball back. And now they put the rush on. Thomas comes in, nails a couple of threes. And all of a sudden, with 1:14 to go, it's a three-point game.
I've been very impressed with Mississippi State and Ben Howland in the way that he's gotten his team to battle back. And you see that from that moment, it's been plus 11 for the Bulldogs.
This is the closest it's been since 7.5 minutes to go in the first half, when it was 27-23. Now coming up noon on Saturday, ACC battle, Wolfpack and Tar Heels get together at noon Eastern. And then at 2, Kansas might be coming off a loss when they take on TCU at Allen Fieldhouse. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
And North Carolina, 8 straight victories since their last loss that happened against Texas. And then without Kennedy Meeks, and had other players step up over that period of time. And Marcus Page obviously rounding back into form. That game last Monday night. We talk about Bryce Johnson's performance, 39-23. Marcus Page, by the way, had 35 and 5. Like, outstanding performance by Marcus Page.
Mike Tirico, Dick Vitale are standing by for our second game, but we're not done yet. 74-71. Ulis, there's a guy you want to have his hands on the basketball. If you're going to take a shot, 23 wouldn't be a bad guy.
Going on 3 minutes, though, without Kentucky making a basket.
2 turnovers and no field goals on those last 3 trips. Under a minute, 10 on the shot clock. Ulis pull up from the elbow, in and out. Poythress kept it alive. Goes back up and he draws a foul.
I think that might be against Craig Schwartz. If it is, he's gone. That's his 5th. So he fouls out with 20. And Alex Poythress, who, when we have talked about him tonight, we've said that he hasn't been productive. But that is an excellent job working for positioning on the weak side to gather that ball in.
He's 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Nails that one. Heck of a game by Craig Short tonight. Fouls out with 48 seconds to play. Even if Poythress hits this, it's still just a 2-possession situation right now. 76-71.
Got to attack with a sense of urgency. Look at where Witherspoon right now.
Last time Mississippi State beat Kentucky was 7 years ago. They're trying to pull off a stunner here in the waning moments at Rupp, and Thomas off the window. 8 points all in this half.
And that's not what Ben Howland wanted to do in that moment. He turned to the bench, covered his eyes. No need necessarily to foul in that situation. It's just a 1-possession game. You get the stop. And even though you would have had limited time left, you still make a play. And certainly if you want to foul, probably not the guy you want to send the line.
Best free throw shooter Kentucky's got, one of the best in the SEC for that matter. Tyler Ulis, 85% free throw shooter, 3 for 3 tonight. And right now the officials at the scorers table again, I think, making sure they have the clock in the right spot as far as how much time is remaining.
And they adjusted it. They added on almost 2 seconds.
Yep. Have it at 35.1 right now. Whoa! Can't go around too many more times than that. Tyler's got a smile, even though it's kind of a sticky situation. That one might make SportsCenter's top 10. Jane Lisa might have that on later tonight. SportsCenter at night. Just how many times that baby went around. Second one. Did kind of a double pump there, too.
Now his 5th game of over 20 points so far this season for Tyler Ulis.
Career high 23 last Tuesday. Another great game tonight.
Now, when I broke down Tyler Ulis to start this game, I said he's unselfish, he's a good quarterback, he's fearless, and evidently, I forgot the word creative. That would be one of the more creative finishes at the free throw line.
So now ready at the free throw line here on the other end with 26 seconds to go. And again, he's the guy you want there for their team as well.
And see, Mississippi State's been doing this at the end of the bench. You know, it's the whole Monmouth impact on the game. You know, we talk about players and their impact. Now we have the mammoth impact as far as the bench guys go. They try to be creative and what can we do differently? We'll cross our legs, and then
their rally cross of legs.
The next one they make, we'll cross the other leg, and that'll be good.
Mississippi State's 13 out of 14 in the second half from the free throw line.
Yeah, you're breaking form there in the middle, though. You can't break form in between the free throws, even if it's taking a little bit of time.
Missed the second. Kentucky got the rebound, and Poythress. And now they're trying to wear some clock out. Murray and Poythress in the backcourt. And Reddy fouls Poythress. So Kentucky looks like they're going to survive and go to 3-1 rather in conference play, and 13-3 overall if they hang on here in the last 19 seconds. Here's what they've got coming up.
This Saturday at Auburn. I'll be at the game next Thursday night at Arkansas with Joe Tessitore. And Vandy, who's struggling a little bit to start conference play, surprisingly struggling. Missouri before that big matchup with the Kansas Jayhawks.
And that again part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Matchup of two of the most storied programs in all of sports.
I think for Ben Howland, you got to be pleased with the fight and the resilience you saw from your team on the road to try to fight back and make this a one-possession game with under a minute to go. And for Kentucky, some things to still work on, but they've got to be really pleased with Isaiah Briscoe, Tyler Ulis, and Jamal Murray.
And when they were down 53-33, who'd have thunk at the end it was only going to be 80-74 Kentucky. That's the final. 80-74, big night for Tyler Ulis. And Kentucky goes to 13-3, 3-1 in conference play. And they win their 29th in a row at Rupp Arena. Coming up next, Maryland and Michigan. Mike Tirico, Dick Vitale, standing by, guys.